This video is to help you with the Metals Materials check-in, and that is our Metals Toolkit. This is the container that you're working with right now. As you can see, mine is taped shut. That is the procedure at the end of the year when the tools are checked back in and ready for the next school year. So you can see that we are going to be doing that at the end of the year. There will be another post when that time comes. For now, you can see the post where you will be checking in your tools. These directions are also in the post. You will be filling out the document either digitally or in person. If it's in person, the first thing you're going to do to fill out the document is write your name on the top. You should also do that way in the upper left of the Google Doc if you are filling this out digitally, so the teacher can identify them easily when checking things in. After you've labeled it with your name, you should put the letter and number of the locker that you are going to use for the year. They are under the tables. You will be given a lock, so make sure to write the combination in this document, and when we have completed the tools check-in, you can lock your tools in your locker. You should also take a photograph of your locker combo and keep that in your phone or perhaps in your Drive account. You will be responsible for these tools for the year, which means if you break them or lose them, you will need to pay the school back as a fine. So be really careful when you're using your tools and make sure you don't lose any. Next, we are going to check in the tools. Here are the directions. In the tools checklist, you will see a received column and a returned column. We are going to check in the tools, so you want to be in the received column. Today is September 5th, but the date might be different when you fill this out, so just list the day that you received the tools. You will be adding the date and highlighting in either green or red. Green if you have the tool, red if you don't. Once we have gone through all of the tools, I will ask who may be missing a specific tool and give those to any students whose kit may be missing them. When we finish the entire sheet, you should be marked in green in the received column all the way down. As you can see, there is a returned column as well that we will be using at the end of the year to check the tools back in for storage over the summer. Leave that blank for now. Now we are going to go through the tools quickly for you. Notice if this sheet is printed out, it's quite long. There's a front, there's a back, there's another page. If you are completing this digitally, just keep going down the Google document until we reach the end. There are pictures here to help you. The easiest way to do this is probably to put today's date in all of the columns first. Mark in either green or red whether or not you have the tool. The first thing we'll have to do is unwrap the toolkit, so please take the tape off and open your tool tin up. The first tool, as you can see here, is the round nose pliers. The image on the right shows you that the ends of the pliers should be completely round. If you have that tool, highlight it in green. If not, it should be highlighted in red. The next tool that we're going to be adding is the chain nose pliers. The image on the right shows you that the chain nose pliers should be half round and flat in the middle. Again, mark whether you have the tool or not. The next set of tools should be all in a package together. If they are not, it's not a big deal, but you should have 5 different needle files. The first one is a rectangular file, and you can see the end should be rectangular. The second file is a half round file, and again, if you look at the profile of it, it's going to be half round. Then there will also be a round file, which is completely circular. Next, we have a triangular file, which is triangular in the profile. There should also be a square needle file and a warding file. The next tool that you should be seeing is the large half round file. Then we have the yellow millimeter ruler. Next is the sanding mandrel. Then we have your flux brush. Notice that there are some additional materials that you may have in your toolkit. You will need a piece of wax. It is not something that you'll be charged for, but you should have a piece of wax in your toolkit. You should also have a pack of saw blades. That was what part of your course fee paid for, so there is no charge for that either. Then you may or may not have 4 different types of solder. If you only have 3 or you have none, it's not a huge deal. When we get to the soldering unit, I will give you the types of solder that you need. Once you have those marked off, the last thing that I want you to see is how much the toolkit costs so that you are aware of what you might be charged if you damage a tool or do not have the tool at the end of the year. Once we've checked these tools in, you can put the tin back together and put it in the locker that you've selected and close the locker for the day. The last thing that you should do is submit the toolkit for check-in. You will actually be getting credit for checking those in.